So without further ado, we're going to bring on our first guest, Vincent Watson. And Vincent, he's combining two things. He's combining poetry and business together. And he has a book called 21 Years, a collection of poems on leadership. Now, I don't know if this is his only book, his first book, or if he has other books, but we welcome him to Black Authors Matter TV. And Vincent, if you could take your, unmute your mic, then we'll be able to hear you. And my co-host is on, Dr. Rhonda. I haven't seen you in 3 weeks, and that's forever. I know, it feels like forever. I had to make some adjustments, like this going live again.
Right.
Just, get back in the mode. So Vincent, you got your mic on now? Okay. Is your volume up? Because it looks like your mic is working, but we can't hear you. We saw your lips moving, but we can't hear you. So check your volume on your device, whatever device if you're using your laptop. Check your volume. There's a little microphone on the side. Make sure it's at a high percentage. 100% would be great. It's a little microphone over there on the right-hand side at the bottom. Now you have it on mute again. So I'm going to ask to unmute. And I noticed that you logged in twice. So I don't know if you tried to log in on 2 different devices or not.
Well, we can always go to the old standby and I can just call him and at least we'll be able to see him.
Right. Or if you want to try logging back in on your other device, I don't know. That might work. On your cell phone, just use the same Zoom link and try logging in again. Meanwhile, I want to look and see who's logged on so far. I haven't checked who's online, but we are back and we have some exciting weeks ahead for the show, for the book festival, and all the things we're doing. We have a lot that's in store, and we have a special surprise new thing that Rhonda, you don't know about it yet, but I need to.
Excited too.
Yeah. I need to let you know about it. I have to do that offline, but it's related to children's books.
Okay.
So we're excited about it's a brand new initiative that we're doing. And while Vincent is waiting, give us an update. Vincent, do you have your sound yet? Oh, you're doing your cell phone. You're going to switch over. Give us an update, Rhonda, on you had an online workshop or seminar or something?
Yes, I had a 5-day masterclass and it was great. It was really awesome. There were people, I wasn't sure when you do a 5-day masterclass, you always wonder if by the 5th day, if you're going to be talking to yourself. And there were people who stayed the entire 5 days. They got a lot out of it. And I'm looking forward to really getting to know some of the people who were in the class. We talked about fiction writing, and we went from grammar and punctuation and sentence structure up to character development, plot development. We also talked about setting the scene. So it was a really good class, and I think everybody got something out of it. So I was excited about it.
Well, while I was on my cruise, I read 3 books, 3 400-page books.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Did you do anything else besides read?
Oh, lots. I'm a fast reader, but I don't get a chance to just like sit for 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
That often. And I was able to do that. Plus on the flight, in the airport, on the plane, in the room. No, I did a lot. I did a lot of stuff. And we went whale watching.
Nice.
We went on this dog sledding thing. It's a wonderful tour.
You didn't snatch any icebergs, did you? Martha Stewart got in trouble for that.
No, no, but we saw them. I mean, we were right with the glaciers. So Vincent, how are we coming on the
Well,
sound.
he created,
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, great,
Yeah,
wonderful.
good evening.
All right, good evening, and welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you have a book called 21 Years, a collection of poems on leadership.
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your first book, your only book, or is this a culmination of other work you've been doing?
It is my first book, but it's not my only book. I have 5 other children books out there, and I have one on the way and one that's being illustrated. So it is my first book, my
Okay,
very first adult book.
it's published.
well,
Yes.
what did you decide to do? I mean, I've seen a lot of books on leadership, but you don't see a lot of poetry books about leadership. What made you decide to go that route?
But hopefully I'm the first, and it is unique. It is the only book on leadership that's written in poetry or written in rhyme. And I've read several authors. I mean, pretty much most of the leadership books that's out there in stores I've read, and they seem to get redundant. It's like the same information just being regurgitated by a different person. And I wanted to take a chance and put a different spin. And I said, in the process of writing, I said, he's gonna do really good. I was gonna do really bad. So I took a chance, and there we have it.
Well, you can use poetry to great effect in topics that aren't traditional. So kudos to you for stepping outside of a box and seeing if it will work, because we never know what exactly will work when we're self-published and we're doing.
I think it could work because I'll tell you, as a leader, sometimes you don't want to read a leadership book, or you don't want to read anything that's just going to make you think too hard because you're trying to decompress. And I think with poetry, it just hits a different brain cell. It hits a different nerve, and it may be easier to take in that way instead of just going through a how-to type book.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope it's thought provoking, but at the same time, I hope it's entertaining. So that was my goal, was to paint a picture, to entertain as well as inform through rhymes and through my 20 years of experience as a leader.
So do you do other poetry, or is this a first endeavor to do poetry for you in this book?
I did poetry many moons ago when I was in college. I kind of like stepped away from it as I entered into the real world. But after some life events, it seemed like I can only write in rhyme. So everything I write and everything I publish is all in rhyme. So I tried to write the traditional way, non-rhyming scheme, but I just can't. My mind just won't allow me to do it because I find it a lot more challenging to write it in rhyme. And I think it's more creative, and I think it may be more effective as far as the readers receiving it. But as I've gotten books out there, I discovered like not everyone's a fan of rhyming schemes and all that other good stuff. So the books are for who they are, and I guess it is what it is.
Well, the name of the book is 21 Years, a collection of poems on leadership. What is the 21 years?
The 21 years is the 21 years of military service. So I was an officer in the United States Army. So I retired at 21 years. So I wanted a title that was different and at the same time monumental to my life. So I came up with 21 years, and then on the cover, I put my daughter that's standing behind some soldiers on the cover. So I thought it was pretty unique.
Well, veteran to veteran, thank you for your service. I did 23 years in the Army myself.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I highly respect people who spend a career in the military. The people that I've met, including Rhonda, I haven't met you yet, Vincent, but I haven't met anybody yet who spent a career like 20 years in the military that wasn't solid, on leadership, teamwork, because the military is about teamwork.
Right.
And they tend to be optimistic too. I haven't met one yet that was pessimistic, and pessimistic people in me that's like oil and water, whatever the opposite thing is.
I was in the army. I hated pessimistic people. And I would tell them all the time, stop coming up with 21 excuses why something's not going to work. And then tell me why it can work and how you're going to make it work. I mean, all that complaining is not getting anything done.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I wasn't in the military, but I've been in leadership as a business owner for many years. And that's true in business too. You you have to be optimistic. You have to be a problem solver.
Right.
When a challenge comes your way, you can't say, woe is me or whine. I can't stand people who whine, but because it's like, okay, who are you whining at? And what do you expect to happen? And whining never solved anything. So I just really respect people who, and that's a commitment because you're committed to the military and you also are signing up for any kind of incursion we get in, any kind of conflict, you're signing up for all of it.
Right.
And so that takes a lot of courage.
You're in New Braunfels, Texas, correct?
I am.
Okay, so does that mean that you retired from Fort Hood?
Yes, I spent most of my active duty time at Fort Hood, so I'm very familiar with the great place, Fort Cavazos, as they call it now. So yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Fort Hood. I spent a couple of years there myself. Great.
Okay. Yeah, it is a great place. So you know where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you also wrote children's, oh, you have 2 upcoming children's books. Nina Doesn't Like to Do Anything New, and Andrew the Ant Leads the Crew. First of all, those rhyme, and you said you talk in rhymes. So I guess you just proved that.
Yep, so I'm excited. So Nina is completed, just had to have to get it published, and Andrew is up for illustrations. So hope to have that illustrated by the end of the month, and look forward to bringing it to the book festival out there in Houston.
Okay, yeah, you're signed up for the festival, and so we'll see you then. And what did you pick poetry as your category? No, you picked business and leadership as your category, as I recall.
I couldn't tell you. I got so many things going on, so
I believe
back
you
and look
picked
at it.
business and leadership, I believe. But I think that's really good. And I like the fact that you have a motivational message. You pick 2 scriptures one scripture that you use as your motivation. And will you tell the audience what that is? I won't tell it for you.
Well, my website is VAW 413. So 413, of course, is Philippians 413. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I truly believe that anything that we want to accomplish or anything we put our minds to, God giving us the time and everything else, then we're able to do it. So we not having the resources, we not be in the best environment. But I thank God comes all those things, and we just have the heart commitment and willingness to go out there and chase after it.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I agree. Philippians 4:8 is one of my favorite scriptures. That's think on these things, whatsoever things are good, lovely. That's about being optimistic. Think about positive things. And that's what the word tells believers, that we should be focusing on the positive and the good and not the negative. But we are really bombarded and surrounded by negative messages, negativity, negative people.
Philippians 4:13 though, because we as a people have grown up being told that we can't do this, Black people don't do that. And when I hear people say that, it does something to me. I can't stand it. And I've always told people you can do whatever it is that you want to do if you put your mind to it and if you believe in God. Because 4:13 says that we can do all things through Christ. And so stop putting limitations on yourself saying that we can't do this or we don't do that. I mean, it just does something to me. And I don't know if y'all remember, but when Evander Holyfield was still fighting, his robe that he would wear to the ring actually had Philippians 4:13 stitched in the collar part of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch boxing, but I know didn't he have a church or go into ministry or something? That's an off topic, but I seem to recall that. Or he made a huge contributions to churches or something like that. As I recall, Evangelist did. So the 21 years, when people read that, are they, what do you want them to receive or reflect on? Because some people might believe it means you have to take 21 years to do whatever it is. And 21 years are going to go by. If you keep living, they will go by. But, you know, there are different milestones along the way. But the 21 years, that's going to pass. If we keep breathing, it's going to come.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll caveat and say, no, I don't want to paint the picture that it takes 21 years to grow into a leader. So I want to, I guess, dispel that right now. But what I hope to get is, the book is broken down into 3 chapters. The first section is leading yourself. So I firmly believe that to be a great leader, you first have to have some self-leadership, some experience with leading yourself first. And you can apply those experiences and things, lessons that you learned leading yourself to lead others. So at the end of the day, I hope people take away that leadership is more than a position. I mean, yes, the position gives you the title, gives you the power, gives you the authority, but leadership is more about participators. So being there, understanding people, and working with others to achieve a common goal.
Okay, now what are the other 2 sections?
There's 3 sections. I don't have the book in front of me. You know, that book came out in March. It's been a long time. I wrote several books beyond that. But I think the 3rd section is the issues with leadership. So it's leading yourself, leading others, and then concerns or issues with leadership, something like that is the 3rd section. So it's just my thoughts on what's not so good about leadership and how we can fix it.
So basically, these are lessons that you've learned over the 21 years you were in the military.
Yeah, it's a combination of, it's a lot. So I've had people give me some reviews and say, man, I can feel your heart. I can feel your heart in the book. So yes, it is very personal to me, but at the same time, it's a collection of poems or leadership traits that I think a good leadership should have.
Wonderful.
Now, what do you think some misconceptions about leadership? Do you have any thoughts on that? What people think leadership is, it may not necessarily be.
Well, I think the biggest misconception about leadership is the position. So I feel like a lot of leaders feel once they get the position or the title, that people kind of automatically fall into the role of being a follower, but that's far from true. So like I said, the position gives you the title, gives you authority, but it doesn't give you the respect of the people that's underneath you. And to earn, you really have to work, earn, and show and prove to get the respect of those underneath you.
Well, that's true. And some people think that leadership is just telling people what to do.
It's not.
And that's not it. But some people think that's what it is.
People to do what they may not even want to do. That's a part of leadership. Or they want to do it, or motivating people to want to do something, you know, for the greater good. That's all a part of leadership.
Right. And sometimes you have to get people that you're leading to stretch. And if you have a vision for where you want something to go, you have to make sure they understand the vision and they feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah, amen. So vision is one of the chapters in the book. So get the book.
Okay.
Vision.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you have to have a vision. You have to be able to communicate the vision to people who are following you and make them
all
feel.
of them. You're hitting all of the chapters in the book. You know, read the book. Communication is one of the chapters in the book. So Gwen is doing an outstanding job of putting those traits out there.
Well, I've been in leadership for way more than half of my life. I mean, I was leading as a kid, so but I didn't really know what I was doing there when I was a youngster. But when you have a vision, you just act on it, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you learn from it. You learn from in your mistakes. And a lot of times, unless you go through something, you can't see it. You can't really learn from it if you don't actually do it. Somebody can tell you something, but they either need to show you something or you need to go through it yourself. A lot of times it's just, that's what it takes. And once you go through something, you're smarter, you're stronger. You know more than the person who hasn't gone through it.
Yeah. So that's another chapter in the book, self-awareness. So
Okay.
I've had many experiences that I said, unfortunately, repeated experiences because I didn't reflect on those experiences at the time. So it took me a few times to really just sit back and reflect what was going on inside of me and what kind of impact it was happening on what was happening on the outside. So that's one of the challenges I put out there for all leaders or anyone who desires to be in a leadership position. Become self-aware. Become self-aware and take time to reflect on your words, your thoughts, your actions, and how they impact those you come in contact with.
Now, I have a question for you about a person who's young in leadership, let's say in their 20s, and the people that they're leading are much older than them.
Yeah, been there, done that.
And so what advice would you give that person?
Take your time. So take your time. I mean, just because you have the position, you still have to grow into a leader. No, it won't take you 21 years, but take your time and be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to make mistakes, take chances, and definitely learn from those, even though they may not be in a leadership position. You can learn from anyone and learn from those who may have been in the job, not necessarily in a leadership position, a lot longer than you have. So, but just take your time, make mistakes, and definitely pick the brains and the minds of everyone else that's senior or that's been more tenured in that position than you have, or in that job or that organization.
Very nice. Very, very nice. And I would also say, and I think what you're saying is also about respect. I mean, a young person leading people who are older than them, they have to know that the people who are older than them bring something to the table and respect them for the knowledge that they bring and use that to make your decision. Because as a leader, you still have to make those decisions, but listen to the people around you because they're going to make you successful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think from the organization I worked in, everyone wants to be successful. It's just about finding that niche and where you kind of fit in to bring the team together to get to that end, as far as that common goal, as far as what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we
now
have
we
a question. Okay. We have a question from
Yes.
Vivian King. I think Vivian, I don't know if she's a new viewer, but she said self-awareness is so important. What tools would you suggest to help people become more self-aware?
But I don't have any tools. I think I think it should come naturally, but I understand it doesn't. So just try to reflect. But the biggest tool I would say is just understand what you want, how you want to look as a leader, what you want to be received, how you want to be received, what you want people to take away from you as a leader, what you want people to think about you as a leader. And if you have a vision for what kind of leader you want to be, then understand what that looks like, and then just reflect on whether or not your actions, your communication, or whatever you do meets towards that end. But I would say definitely have a vision for what kind of leader you want to be. Have an idea of how you want people to perceive you and to receive you.
Authenticity. That's what I'm hearing. Know who you are and be true to who you are.
So there's no right or wrong answer. Some guys want to be that hard-nosed leader. Some guys want to be received as more gentle, or whatever the case may be,
right.
Fair. But I mean, there's no right, there's no wrong. But whatever it is, make your decision, stick with it, and just reflect on those actions.
Well, one thing about the military, though, is that there is a chain of command, and you're supposed to respect the rank above you, or there are consequences if you don't. So that's not the case in other cities.
We take them around the back and beat them until they submit.
Yeah, the military is a different animal, but there's a lot of similarities and parallels between just Fortune 500, these companies and organizations is out here in the public sector.
Yeah, you know, a lot of big companies these days, or maybe even in the past too, but they look favorably on people with a military background because they know, one, that they're used to working on a team and they're used to following a chain of command.
Mhm.
And you know, you have to work in the military. It's not one of those settings where you can kind of just slough off.
Oh, we have people who try though.
Yeah, well, I know basic training is really tough
Mhm.
from what I hear from everyone. It's really more tough than going through a sorority or a fraternity, the induction thing.
So, well, we only have a couple minutes left, but if you want to take a minute, what are your goals with this book? Where would you like to see this book end up?
On the bestsellers list.
Yes.
That's the easy one.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I have dreams, and I would like to see it be in the bestsellers, at least in the thoughts and minds of leaders, renowned leaders, well-known leaders and speakers that's out there. So it's something different, it's something unique, another approach to leadership, but at the same time very informative. But yeah, I would like to see it to be in the best. I like to see it sail and make its way around the world and to the hands of many people as it can. So that's my ultimate goal.
Well, in order
Okay.
for that to happen, let us know where we can find the book.
Right.
Yeah, so you can find the book on my website is vaw413.com. Very simple. You hit it, take you straight there. There's several other books listed there, but yeah, 21 years is listed there as well. And
And you have
I'll
a
get it
book
shipped out.
signing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll get it shipped out as soon as I possibly can.
Okay. And you have a book signing coming up on the 9th, which is Saturday, I believe. And that's at Barnes and Nobles in San Antonio.
That is correct. So if you are in the San Antonio area, if you are in Texas, come out to San Antonio and come to the San Pedro Barnes and Noble location. I'll be there starting at 1 o'clock. And I think I have an hour block from 1 to 2 signing the children's book. I won't have, Barnes and Noble didn't purchase the 21 years, but they purchased 3 of my children's book, and I'll be signing and promoting those books on Saturday.
Okay, well, great. And congratulations on that. And I'm sure you'll have a successful signing on Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you in October at the National Black Book Festival.
Yes, ma'am. God willing, I will be there.
All right, we'll be looking for you.
Yes, ma'am. Same here.
All right, you have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, everyone, take care. Appreciate your time.
Okay.